The Bassmaster Classic 2007, 3 days of competition, the best in the world. This is it, the ultimate day, the final day, championship day on Lay Lake in Birmingham, Alabama. What a huge, huge day this is for this field of 25 anglers. Boy, the launch is underway. These guys are fishing. Right now, let's take a look at the conditions that are existing out there. Air temperature pretty pleasant right now. The water will be in the low 50s. The humidity is up. The wind is up a little bit, but not enough to make any difference. We got a 50% chance of thunderstorms. A little rain on the way today. May not affect these anglers. A huge day, though. The weather's the last thing on these guys' mind. Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zona. A lot of butterflies today, a lot of anxiety, a lot on the line.
Well, and this is pretty much exactly what we wanted to happen, man. You know, the top 5 guys in this tournament within 3 pounds of the lead, but more so than anything, really the top 10 guys still have a legitimate shot at winning this thing. But unfortunate for them, the #1 closer in the entire sport, Kevin Van Dam, is sealing the deal in first place so far.
Let's look at our starting point, the leaderboard after 2 rounds of competition, and there he is. The man on top is Kevin Van Dam. Skeet Reese, another big name in this sport, and a host of Alabama anglers trying to bring this thing home to a home state. First time ever for the Classic. Ish Monroe, great angler from out west, up there. He's got a chance at it today. Aaron Martins, who's been second 3 times in the Bassmaster Classic. Russ Lane, the Alabama angler who just made it in over the cut line. He's fishing on the final day. But the big story from day #2, one of the top figures in the sport, got fans everywhere year in and year out. He's a fan favorite, disqualified from the competition because of an incident out on the water. Take a look at what happened and hear from Gerald Swindle.
I've been disqualified today for unsafe boat driving. It was a judgment call. The tournament department had to make it. Their call was I drove unsafe. I made a decision. I ran through a gap. Bass thought it was a bad decision. I didn't. I just want everybody here to know I didn't cheat. I didn't try to cheat. I wasn't trying to gain an edge. I made a simple judgment error.
You know, and what can you say about that, Tommy? I mean, that's brutal for Gerald Swindle, and probably the biggest thing was Gerald Swindle was big time in contention to win this thing. Unofficially, he would have been in 12th place yesterday.
All right, more news from yesterday. It was a big day for certain anglers. Most anglers, their weights dropped on day 2. Let's look at the guys who brought it up, who really stepped it up on day #2. And of course, Kevin Van Dam moving all the way up from 19th place to 1st place to start this final day.
And make a note of it. These were the biggest bags of day 2. This is not total weight. And the 2 guys to watch besides Kevin Van Dam right now, Gary Klein and Steve Kennedy. They really excelled on day 2.
All right, we'll be watching all of those guys and the whole field of 25 today. Let's get back out for another look, an update on the weather. Mary Delgado standing by out there. She's got her eye on the sky. Mary?
Thanks, Tommy. I'm still here at the launch ramp. Now, the weather forecast was calling for 50% chance of precipitation and lots of cloud coverage. But I don't know, if you look up at the sky, we see the cloud coverage, but there's blue skies coming through. We're going to see if this weather is going to hold up and what type of fishing we're going to have throughout the day.
All right, thank you very much, Mary Delgado out there. All right, let's talk about the butterflies. Let's talk about all the anxiety of the final day of the biggest event in these guys' lives, the #1 event of the year. Some dock talk before the launch this morning earlier. Listen in.
I think there's a lot of variables to that. I want this cloud cover to blow out so KVD doesn't catch them. I want the sun to come out, so I do. I figure I need minimum 15. If I can catch 15 to 18 today, I think I got a really good shot at winning this Classic.
You know, the big bites are coming late in the afternoon. I can get quite a few numbers of bites in the morning time, mid-afternoon, but in the later hours of this tournament, that's when the big fish are going to bite.
You know what? I'm going to go out and fish for spotted bass, try to get 2 or 3 of those 3 or 4 pound fish, and then I'm going to go hunt a big largemouth. A 7 or 8 pound largemouth is going to change this entire game for somebody today.
You know, you just got to make it happen. You know, it's the Classic, and you gotta swing for the fences. I could have culled my crankbait fish yesterday, probably caught 13, 14 pounds. I was trying to catch another 18-pound sack, and I just don't think you can win any other way.
These guys may seem a little bit cool, but they are boiling inside, right?
Well, they are, and I mean, that's the one thing that comes out right now. I mean, these guys are unbelievably calm for fishing for $500,000 this morning. I'd be a mess.
Oh, man, me too. All of these guys have got a strategy in mind. Byron Velvick has been out there talking to these guys. Let's see what he's got for us. Byron Velvick.
Thanks a lot, Tommy. A lot happening on this Day 3 Bassmaster Classic. The sun has popped out. You can see it in my eyes. Kevin Van Dam says, I hope that sun goes away. He wants it overcast. If it's overcast, he said this is his tournament to win. The weather will be just right. Now, Terry Scroggins, Boyd Duckett, a lot of the guys that are flipping grass, flipping mats, they're saying, give us that sun. Let those fish come up under the mats and position themselves. That's what they're hoping for. They have targets if the sun is out. Now, Skeet Reese, Randy Howell, Tommy Biffle, they're up in the current. They want two things. Give us a little bit of sun, give us the current. They're after the spotted bass. Lots of mixed bags here, lots of strategies going on. Day 3 is going to be crazy out here at the Bassmaster Classic.
Well, thank you very much. Great work, Byron, there. These guys, anything surprise you about those strategies?
No, I mean, it's pretty much been a largemouth, or, you know, against spotted bass here, but the biggest thing that we're going to see today, this tournament will come down to one key bite before the end of the day.
All right, some of those strategies are at work right now. Let's take a look at an updated leaderboard right now as we come to you live. Boyd Duckett of Alabama, the man making the big move earlier. 3 fish in the boat. Kevin Van Dam, our leader, he's hanging in there. He's got fish going, as well as Dean Rojas.
And we've seen this all week, Tommy. The guys really have come out of the gates firing, catching fish quick, but later in the day, just like Byron said, later in the day has been the biggest key for quality bass.
All right, full coverage of the final round of the Bassmaster Classic comes your way at 10 p.m. tonight on ESPN2. We'll be back in another half hour with another live update. Enjoy more coverage of round 2. It's coming up right now.
This portion of Bassmaster Classic coverage is brought to you by Purolator.
All right, we are back. Our live coverage of the Bassmaster Classic 2007 for Birmingham, Alabama, and Lay Lake. Our weather out there, well, 58 degrees. We had big storms, heavy weather passing through the night before. We're worried about that a little bit, but the air temperature, 54 degrees, winds, they're up there, but pretty steady. The forecast, still a chance of showers today. But Mark Zona, we're worried about that weather last night and what it might have done to the creek. Let's talk about that.
Definitely, you know, a lot of the anglers were talking about, they said, I'm really worried about the heavy rains mudding up our water, okay? That has not happened so far in some of the smaller creeks. That being said, there is one other key factor that could really muddy up the water today, and that is hundreds of spectator boats running up and down the lake.
Final day, of course, there's bound to be a lot of interest. We'll be following that one very, very closely. Meanwhile, Byron Velvick, our reporter out there, is with the man who jumped from 4th place all the way to 1st in the opening hours of fishing of this tournament. Let's see what's going on now with Boyd Duckett and Byron Velvick.
Early morning action out here on Day 3. This is exciting stuff. I'm talking low because I'm really close to Boyd Duckett, who's right around the corner from the launch ramp. Now, he's already put 2 in the box, and he said he's caught them real shallow on a crankbait, a lipless crankbait. He said it's a Frenzy Red lipless crankbait. He's throwing it shallow. He said as soon as he gets his limit, he's going to pick up a chigger craw, the Berkeley chigger craw, and go flip mats and get those big bites. But right now, he is off to a great start with 2 fish for about 5 or 6 pounds early on here on Day 3.
All right, Boyd Duckett going to work very, very early in this tournament. Let's take a look. Byron talked about how he caught him. We'll see just how he did it right now. That was right after the start.
And one of the things we've noticed so far, every day of the tournament, Boyd Duckett has come out of the gates firing. One of the biggest keys to winning a Bassmaster Classic, building momentum. And right now, Boyd Duckett is doing that.
How much pressure does that take off of him right there to start that limit, get it going so early in this tournament?
You know, it's all about confidence in this game right now. You know, Boyd wants to just put 5 in the boat and then start upgrading, and that is exactly what he's doing.
Everything going according to plan for Boyd Duckett. Kevin Van Dam, maybe not on that pace just yet, but watch out for Kevin Van Dam. We'll see what he's up to right now. Back out to Lay Lake. And Kevin Van Dam, the leader, going into this final round of competition. This one pretty early as well.
It is. And well, you know, Kevin was very vocal at the weigh-in. He said, I need overcast skies to win the Bassmaster Classic. Right now, he has that. He has low light conditions, but there's a negative to this. Later today, the skies are going to open up. We're going to have bright sunshine. He needs to get his work done right now.
If the sun comes out and stays out, what is Kevin Van Dam likely to do?
Well, you know, there's nobody better at adapting in the ball game than Kevin Van Dam, so I think he'll be just fine today.
That classic experience. He's been there so many times. He's won the thing twice. We're always watching Kevin Van Dam. And one of our anglers who came up through the ranks of the Bass Federation Nation, Terry McWilliams. Good day 1. Kept it going on day number 2. Let's take a look at Terry McWilliams, the former state trooper from Indiana in action here.
And what can you say about this, man? A Federation Nation angler fishing against all the bulls on parade today. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be a little bit of nervous jitters involved. So far this tournament, he has stood the test.
All right, he's fishing right near the outflow of a power plant right there. That's warmer water coming in. That's guaranteed clear water as well. No mud there.
Definitely. You know, he's in a safe place right now. More so than anything, he's got an area that is replenishing. Every day, Terry McWilliams' area is reloading.
Terry McWilliams, one of the top 6 finishers at the Federation Nation National Championship just a month or so ago, just up this Coosa River chain. So he's got the experience here. He had himself a good, successful practice there and lots of positive feedback.
And more so than anything, I mean, we've got a real catch fest brewing right now for our final day of the Bassmaster Classic.
It is looking so good. Things are changing as we speak. Let's see our updated leaderboard up to date. These weights are unofficial, but we're keeping close watch on them right there. Boyd Duckett, we saw him jump back up into that lead earlier on. How about our Federation Nation guy?
Wait a second.
Terry McWilliams jumping in there.
We got a naughty little Dean Rojas coming to the party right now.
That guy, 3 big fish in the boat right now, moving all the way up the leaderboard a long way. Take a look at the rest of our 25 anglers right there. Timmy Horton of Alabama, I know you like his chances. He's got 1 in the boat so far. Plenty of time fishing left to go. Gary Klein still lurking under that leaderboard. That's the only thing he needs is a classic win to complete his resume.
Again, I will say this, though. Every day of this event, so far, the bigger fish have come later in the day.
All right, so much more coverage coming up. Our round 2 coverage, I know you're enjoying that. We're going to get you back to that right now. We got more live updates coming up and our full coverage of the final round, the big day of the Bassmaster Classic, 10 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on ESPN2. Write it down, and we'll see you there.
This portion of Bassmaster Classic coverage is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. This portion of Bassmaster Classic coverage is brought to you by Berkeley.
All right, tonight, Bassmaster Classic coverage, the final day, the big day, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have all of it for you, including the weigh-in, including the pageantry. Some angler is going to win $500,000. Who's it going to be? A lot of fishing between now and then, a lot of jockeying for position. We've got some great stuff on the way for you coming up. All right, the big bass of the tournament. The big bass from day 2. Kevin Van Dam, 5 pounds and 7 ounces. That's what put him on top of the field. How about the other 24 anglers having to stare down this guy, Kevin Van Dam, going into the final day of competition? Kevin Van Dam, who has won 2 classics already. That's not a good prospect for these other anglers, Mark.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, the guy's pretty darn good at closing a deal. You know, nobody wants to go against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say here. I think
that's what they're looking at right now. He's out there fishing, as are the other 24. But Byron Velvick, our reporter out there, is with the man right now, Kevin Van Dam, shadowing his every move. What are you picking up right now, Byron?
Guys, we're about 2 hours into the last day of the Bassmaster Classic. Behind me, the leader going into today, Kevin Van Dam. Now, this is some bad news for Kevin. What you see shining on my face, the sun, it's not what he wanted. He's hoping for that overcast, those clouds. He wants that stuff to be dark. He wants the day to be dark. It's not turning out that way. Right now, he's getting the sun he wasn't hoping for, and what that's going to create for him is a situation where that stuff he's doing behind us, the turn and burn, throwing those reaction baits, covering a lot of water, will not be as effective as what the other guys were talking about, flipping the mats, going to heavy cover, hitting the grass. So the guys that are wanting the sun, they're getting what they hope for, and Kevin right now better pray that sun goes away.
Hey, thanks for being on top of that, Byron Velvick. So Kevin Van Dam, the run and gun style, may be scaled back just a little bit today?
Well, you know, here's the deal. I think he doesn't want the sunlight for the biggest reason. The sunlight will push the bass into the heavy cover where they're very susceptible, guys like Boyd Duckett, Terry Scroggins. He wants them out where he has a better crack at them. That being said, Kevin Van Dam is pretty darn good at fishing heavy grass, too.
All right, his confidence level vis-a-vis both kind of methods there?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know, it's kind of like some days Tiger Woods doesn't like putting as much as he does driving.
All right, a man who has made a big move up the leaderboard so far on this final day of Classic 2007. Starting in 18th place, Dean Rojas of Texas, formerly of California. He has really gotten on today, and Mary Delgado is on Dean Rojas right now with this update. Mary.
Hey guys, got some really exciting news. I've got Dean Rojas right behind me. He'd only been in here in Spring Creek for about half an hour, and he caught 9 pounds of fish. He caught a 5-pounder and a 4-pounder. That is really going to move him up that leaderboard.
Thank you,
Back
Mary.
to you.
That's very good. All right, we recognize that spot where we saw Dean Rojas right there. He caught him yesterday, caught the spotted bass in that little ditch right under that highway bridge right
You
there.
know, and that's the unique thing right now about Lay Lake. We've got a lake right now that it's kicking out a lot of 2 to 3 pound bass. Everybody is still in the mix. See guys like Dean Rojas, 15th to 20th place. They still have a very legitimate shot at winning this event. Reason being, just like day one, Boyd Duckett catching an 8-pound bass. You lunch a fish that big, you can still pull this off.
All right, Dean Rojas, his expectations before this classic was that he would be able to use his trademark. That's a little plastic frog he drags on top of that grass to have the bass come up and get it. I think he's maybe abandoned that now, but finding good success right now with the new deal.
I think you just want to see that frog, Tommy.
I do want to see
talked about the frog all weekend. I know you want to see it come out.
Kermie is his friend. Kermie is everyone's friend. Yeah, he's my friend. Let's take a look at our live leaderboard, see who's moving up that thing. The big day, final day of the Bassmaster Classic 2007. Kevin Van Dam staying on top right there. Boyd Duckett had taken away that lead from him a little bit earlier.
And one thing to notice right now, Mike Iaconelli already with a 5 bass limit this morning, just sitting under 35 pounds.
All right, let's take a look. Full leaderboard, 24 anglers out there fishing. How about our 2 Alabama guys, Steve Kennedy and Timmy Horton, now just falling out of the top 10, bubbling under it right now.
But you got to say right now, as far as all the reports we're getting off the water, day 3 so far, probably the best fishing morning we've had yet.
All right, Ish Monroe still in 17th place right there. He's not got too much going. Russ Lane, the man who just barely made it in under the wire, having trouble. Well, he's got a fish in the boat, so good for Russ Lane. All right, as you look at that leaderboard, Kevin Van Dam staying on top there, still, as we say, hoping to keep that cloud cover going for him.
He is definitely, Tommy. But we've got some interesting footage coming in right now. This is a largemouth bass tournament. This is a spotted bass tournament. We've talked about that mix the entire week. We have some interesting footage coming up
Mike
here right
Iaconelli.
now. Terry McWilliams, my friend. Check this stuff out.
Oh, here we go.
And here's the best part of this footage we get to look at right here. You'll notice Terry McWilliams, he gets it in the boat right here. We've got $500,000 on the line. And here's the best part of this. Listen here.
Can you get the stripes off of him?
Okay, now, he wants the stripe off the side of this striped bass right here.
Don't think we can count it?
And you'll notice Terry McWilliams not quite wanting to let that fish go. Somewhere in his mind, Terry McWilliams is thinking,
got teeth on his
please
tongue.
change your species right now. Turn into a largemouth. Turn into a spot.
Can you get that Stripo eraser kit out right now and
That's
get that
magic.
thing going? He really doesn't want to get rid of what could be, somewhere in the back of his mind, that could be the biggest spotted bass he's ever seen in his life.
Big time.
We got something very interesting to show these people right now. Not that that wasn't interesting, but Mike Iaconelli, his fish catches today. Mike Iaconelli having some great success out there. Let's take a look at a map. You give us what you've got on this one here, Mike Iaconelli. We saw him pretty close to the spot yesterday, just catching them one after the other.
Mike's got an area just like Boyd Duckett. He's got an area he can go into and catch his limit, then start upgrading.
All right, we got a lot of Mike Iaconelli coming up, obviously, in this coverage. We can't have a classic without staying on Mike Iaconelli in a big way. Round 2 was a big day. We took the field from 50 down to 25. Let's take a look at all the drama at the weigh-in day number 2. We'll start with the top 5 right here as they came in. A lot of people, big hopes for this man right here, Timmy Horton, carrying the flag for Alabama, 29 pounds, 11 ounces after 2 days. Our leader from day number 1, another Alabama man, Boyd Duckett, did not disappoint. Lands there in the top 5 in the 4th position. Terry Scroggins of Florida. Good job by him right there. He's been in that top 5 all tournament long. Skeet Reese of California, but here we go. All right, the big one right there. Kevin Van Dam. Oh, man, the crowd wanted to see this. All right, day 3 coverage. The final round coming up at 10 Eastern time tonight. All right.
Right now, Tommy Sanders, I'm going to throw one pick out to you, Kevin Van Dam, but keep your eye on Terry Scroggins by the end of the day.
We'll absolutely do that. Big doings coming up here today. All right, we're going to get you out of here right now. Hope you've enjoyed this coverage of round number 3, our live update. Coming up next, we got some good stuff on the way. NHRA Race Day presented by Lucas Oil, and so much more.
All right. Woo!